You gotta close that door. It's gonna be loud. Sorry. Whoops. Listen, hey, hey, bro, it'd be chaos at the house all the time, bro. Come on, no, don't. You didn't even give me the reach you wanted, nothing. You just went in and just hit the record button or whatever, and then just started. That ain't even right. Ain't nothing but a setup. Ain't nothing but a setup.
Hey, yo, bro. Golly.
Well, you even say that. I'm like in the middle of a sentence yelling at one of the kids, and then you over there hitting the record already.
Hey, at least it could have been a whole lot worse.
It could have been. No, I could have been saying some off the wall stuff, but I wasn't doing that. So I knew where we were at, so I didn't make sure that I didn't do that. So we're good.
You good. What's up with you, man? Hardwood Knuckleheads episode 42.
Is it 2? Okay, yeah, it's 1. Oh, yeah, 42. Oh, yeah. Lacrosse final.
We got some stuff to talk about,
man. I feel like we need to talk about that last one first because I don't even know what that one is.
That's why I put it on there.
So, yeah, put me on. Introduce me to what's going on.
Bruh, you never watched Lacrosse, dog?
I mean, I wouldn't even say familiar. I have an idea about what it is. I mean, basically you run around with a stick hitting people. I mean, that's basically what it is. I mean,
kinda, yeah.
Yeah.
Nah, it's a. It was funny. I put that on there like right before we hopped on, bro, because I was like, oh shoot, it's Memorial Day weekend. Memorial Day weekend always coincides with the NCAA Final Four for lacrosse, right? And it's actually one of my favorite events. Like, I love
lacrosse is one of your favorite events.
Oh man, and again, you haven't really paid attention to it, right? So like,
I've seen a few matches before, and like they're crazy how they just be running around and throwing that. I've seen
it's exciting, bro. I think it's a cool sport. Like, like, and I in this past year, I've gotten to know. I've got a friend, Brandon. If you out there, shout out to Brandon. His daughter, she goes to Hamilton High School out here, and she actually signed. She signed to play lacrosse at Kennesaw State, so she got a scholarship to play there. So, which, I mean, again, I was already interested in, but it's cool that somebody that's about to go.
Yeah,
play
absolutely, absolutely, yeah.
And so, yeah, it was funny last weekend not this past weekend, weekend before, we had a football game with the boys, and she brought her sticks, and we was out there throwing. I've never like thrown a lacrosse, like,
how is that?
It's interesting, man, because like you think you could just, but like you got to have some wrist action, like
like when you do, yeah. Look at
I'm a natural, bro.
Okay, that's right. Okay, that's what it is. That's what you're saying. I mean, really, that's what you wanted to tell us, was that you's nice at lacrosse.
Brandon, my man Brandon out there, he listens to the podcast. He can attest that I got skills with it. You know what I mean?
Is that the noise that it makes when it comes up?
Yeah. So no, but going back to the Final Four, like honestly, like, you got the men's Final Four for basketball, great event. Obviously football's got some cool events, but lacrosse for the spring, along with the baseball tournament for college, those two tournaments are run really well. And the fact that they play it, lacrosse is mainly a East Coast sport, right? So, you don't have too many teams, although University of Denver made it to the Final Four for this, and they've won it before, but they made it this year. So give a little West Coast love to the Denver Pioneers. And but yeah, man, it's a cool event. Big crowds. They play it in a football stadium, and then people go crazy, man. Like, and it's like you say, it's like fast action. Dudes be trucking people. People be getting blowed up, bro.
And
sticks,
right.
Yeah, and that thing, when they whip that thing, bro, dang, I wouldn't want to get hit with that.
Right.
It's like getting hit with a paintball. You know what I mean?
I've done. Have you ever done paintball before?
Yep.
That is not fun.
Bro,
that is not fun. No.
Why you say it like that?
Because it's not fun. I did it one time, bro. I mean, that is just like horse riding or something. Like, I do it one time, And if it don't feel right or if it hurt real bad, like, no, I ain't doing it again. No, no, we did it for Kyla Feuerbach. That was his bachelor party when he was getting married or whatever. Shout out Feuerbach and all those guys because they, you know, like because they listened to us. So we went, you know, so they have you do this whole thing where I didn't even know you had to get dressed a certain kind of way. I'm trying to wear shorts. They're like, bro, you better put some sweats on.
But you better put some pants on.
So I had the sweats on. So then they go and they take us into this room because you got to watch the tutorial on, you know, on like, you know, on what to do, what not to do, you know, all this stuff, you know, like, as soon as we let you go. I mean, basically it was like Hunger Games, like as soon as we got out there.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody out there just shooting. I'm just trying not to get hit.
Yeah.
I did paintball like how I play Fortnite. I just hide out until there's like 2 people left, and then I try to go see if I can go get them, and then it's like that's it, right? Like that's what. Anyway, hey, they had this little kid that was over there. This dude was John Wick before John Wick was even out, bro. Man, the dude had the little handheld. Then he had the other one that had the strap on it, so he's shooting with this one, and then he's rolling. He picks the other one. He must have blasted me about 4 or 5 times. Like, bro, if you do it again, it's
gonna be a problem.
Right here, I'm
Wombo combo. Wombo combo.
Done. Like I'm not getting shot again. And them and the marks that they leave on your skin. Ooh. Oh, hey.
Yeah.
No, not fun.
Not for you, huh?
Nope, not at all. Hey,
Isla, go back to dunking the damn basketball.
No. See, you saw him out there early. Hey, we're doing this. Quick, get out of here. Go now.
Hey, but hold up. I need some clarification, man, because you know I'm watching. Here's the thing, yo. It was entertaining. I'm watching the video.
What video are we talking about right now? What's
the video of them in the living room getting the buckets on?
Okay, so that was the younger 2 this morning. So that was Aisen and Isley that was out there trying.
Aisen and Isley. Okay,
yeah.
They out there getting buckets.
Mm-hmm.
Every time Isley made a bucket.
Oh no, you don't know. You see the celebration? Oh, excessive. Too excessive. I'm like, listen, just act like I'm trying to get her to act like she been there, but she don't care. She start to get to stomping and jumping on shit. Yeah, she don't care, bro. Like I made it. I'm just like, no, it's just like we can't. Because what's gonna happen is that like you'll never play because you won't ever get back on defense because you're too busy celebrating.
She's stomping around like the bushwhackers.
Oh yeah, and then just gonna start jumping on shit.
Yeah.
I'm just like, listen, girl, just like quit. No, just like the form not there, but at least they're starting to get a little bit more excited. But it's because that they have to go to so many tournaments and stuff.
Right.
Because Ayla's always playing, or like I'm coaching, they just see it all the time. That now they're kind of just like, you know, just starting to slowly, like, you know what I mean? I'm trying not to force it. So they're slowly starting to kind of just like making it something fun to do at home. Like, I'm just like, that's it though too.
It was entertaining, man. So I'm shout out to them. They was getting buckets. And it made me laugh.
They're definitely entertaining. I will say that.
Hold on, man, because like I got another question for you, and I don't understand. Make me understand. Why did you name all your kids with an A? Because you know it's confusing, and
it's hella confusing.
I know.
Like it just I don't, you know, it was let me see it was so at first like when we were gonna have Aylin, I wanted to hey, close the door and get out of here, please. No, get out of here, go. See? This it's just this is what happens when we do it at 3:00. See, we should have done it at noon when they're doing nap times and stuff. But no, just anyway. So I wanted to name Aylin. I originally wanted to name him Stephen III, right?
Okay.
Because I'm junior, so I wanted to just give him my name there, right? And Lex was like, "Nah, we ain't doing that."
Like, "Nah, bro."
Nah, she was like, "Nah, like we ain't doing that," right? So it just so then I was like, so I tried to, I was in like really into like Dragon Ball Z, you know, and they just listen for a second. There's not a character for Dragon Ball Z name that, right? So no. So but they did have this, they did introduce this technique called diffusion, where you take 2 guys, you know, like 2, so like you take Goten and Trunks and they fused together and they made Gotenks. Like you take a little bit of their name, a little bit of that name, and like you fuse it together there, right? So I was like, how can we? And since you would never like name it Steven, then I was like out of names. I was like, that's the only one I got. Like, because forever, that's the only name I ever wanted him to have. It was just like, just be little Stevie, like I was little Stevie. And then, but that got shot down early. Like, pull. It was just like, I mean, it was like fast. So I was like, well, I was just like, let me take Alexis or A, and I was just like, and then Steven. And then I tried to like fuse it together to try to figure out a name. And I came up with Aylin. I don't know why. It sounded kind of like on some medieval shit there too. Like I'm playing video games, like with swords and shields. It sounds like, it sounds like a
Aylin.
Yeah, right. Yeah, sound like a name like that, right? Yeah. So we had Aylin, and then after that, I was like, After that, it was like we had to stay because also there too on my side of the family. So I'm Steven, and then there's Shane, and then there's Stephanie. So we all have, and like on our side, we all have the same initials. Stephen Michael, Shane Matthew, Stephanie Michelle. Like we all have the same initials. And my dad is Stephen Michael Garnett, and then my mama was Marsha Denise Garnett. So there's an S, there's an M, there's a G. And so it just kind of like, so I was like, well, how can we, so I figured, okay, let's just do what's just like all A's. So then after that, I was like, okay, then what do we like after that? And then I don't know. I think Lex came up with Isla, because I don't think I came up with that. That wouldn't have been a name that I would have came up with, because I'm not that smart. So
you can't even spell Isla.
I couldn't at first, but then it was like we had to try to figure out because Aylin's was an AY. So I was like, okay, then if we're gonna name our Isla, we have to figure out a way that we can spell it using AY. So the girls are all start with AYE, and the boys are all AYs. So and then really Aylin and Asen are, they're just really just different by the L and like the C. And then there's Isla, and then Isley. We just that was just the last one, and we were just I figured we just try to use every letter that was in the book, or try to throw a Z in there too, because Z don't never get no love. So we get an A and a Z, and then I don't know, man. It's just wow. What though? Too, trying to like say them sometimes when there's some shit going on. Ain't no way. It's so like I'm like, hey, it didn't
bring
like
your,
that.
Look. It start with Ayla, all you shit. Bring your ass.
No. Sometimes I'll be looking. I'm like, what's your name? And then Isla will look at me, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. And then now, like most of the time now, we just talking about like numbers. Like if I'm talking to Lex, I'm like, hey, look, I'm gonna take 1 and 3 with me. You take 3, 4. Like you take 2, 4. So now they're just reduced the numbers.
Gosh.
Numbers there, bro, like that.
Wow.
Yeah, that's it. So yes.
Well, all right. All right.
There it is. That's.
Oh man.
So tell us about the basketball. Like you guys were there for Under Armour circuit, like like this last past weekend. You guys were in Ohio. You got a chance to go back and see family and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, give us the recap, man. Like, what was?
Yeah, man. It was a good weekend. Really good competition. The boys played well. We went 3-1, but we lost the last game on Sunday morning to Team Thrill from Baltimore. And it was a good weekend, man. Like you're sitting in this big old gym. There's coaches walking around everywhere. We had, at least 30 to 40 coaches at every game. The last game was awesome. The last game was probably like 70 to 80.
That's crazy. Oh, yeah, that's so dope.
You look to your left. It was like Scott, Coach Barnes from Tennessee. You look to your right. It was Brownell from Clemson. There was the Oregon coach. There was St. Mary's. There was, it was just, it was crazy, man. It was like Shaka Smart, bro. It was so funny. This is the crazy part, because like we were on Saturday, we were leaving the gym after our second game Saturday afternoon, and literally I walk out, I hold the door, and he walks by me, and it was like at first I didn't, you just seeing people, so you're not really, and he didn't have anything on, at least I didn't notice, but like he walked past me, and then I was like, hey, that was Shaka Smart. I was
like, that's crazy.
It was crazy, man. So and it's not like you know how it used to be when we were playing, like they have a section off, and like
they had to it would just say coaches only. Right. You couldn't even you could make no contact. Right.
No, but like now they were sitting there, on both baselines, and like you just standing there next to them, like you just interacting with them. So
That's
Um,
crazy.
yeah, it was real cool, man. The boys, they played well. And yeah, we should have probably won the last game, but it was us against Team Thrill, like I said, from Baltimore. Probably one of the better teams. Like, we're both at this stage right now, we're both 5-1.
Hmm.
And so I hope we get to see him again. It was a tough OT loss, but yeah, it was a hell of a weekend, man. Amari had a pretty good weekend. Um, he's guarding 4 or 5 star point guards, 4 or 5 star forwards.
I like
Um,
it. I like it.
yeah, he was out there competing, and yeah, man, it was cool. And if I and ultimately it led to him getting a couple offers by the end of the weekend, which was cool. One from Missouri, Kansas City, and then the other from our beloved
Yes, alma
NAU.
mater. Let's go. Go
Yeah.
Jets. I like
So
that. I like that.
yeah, man.
I saw
So
him. I saw the post that I saw his post when he like put it up that he had got offered and he had the NAU on there. And I was just like, oh no, that just like, right. Just for a second, you just like had a cool little moment. Just, you know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Like, kind of,
yeah,
and I mean, that was just for me. So I can't even imagine what that must have been like for you and Jen, both being NAU
right.
alums and both playing there and stuff and everything. So
Yep.
that's, like that's gotta be kind of cool. So
Yeah, it was a proud dad moment, man. And Coach Burkhardt, he came up to me after the last game, and he said, "Hey, man, I'm about to go off for your son," and I was like, "Damn, cool." Like, this, what do you say? Thank you, and he's like,
that's
and
so
so
awesome, man. I mean,
yeah.
just being able to just kind of just like watch the whole. I mean, again, like, I mean, obviously you're not Amari, but like, what do you? I mean, like, obviously you feel like that for him, like a little bit of a boulder has been, dropped off his shoulder,
Oh
at
yeah,
least just for a little
yeah,
bit, at least if nothing else. Now
yep.
it's almost like the offers and everything. Like when they offer it, it's almost like we kind of talked about this yesterday. It's like the validation of all the
Yeah,
work that like you put
yep,
in over the years. Like, you know what I mean?
yep,
This didn't just happen because he had a good high school season this year. Like, this
right.
happened over the course of like what he's been doing since he's picked
Yeah,
up basketball. You know what I
yep,
mean? And so it's
yeah.
like to get to that point now where you can finally get a chance to, on one of those bigger stages, play against
Hmm.
some of the best competition that's out there. Not only play against it, but to hold your own against it. You know
Right,
what I mean? Like,
right.
that's got to be. I mean, I can't imagine. Well, I mean, I can imagine because we've all been there before. But it's just like for him, just to be able to do that, and then to kind of get those talks or whatever. I'm sure the
Hmm.
boy had to be all smiles and then had to feel good. But that won't be the last offer. That's the beginning of it. But it's
Right.
just really cool that he's able to kind of do that there. So I don't know. So kind of like talk us through that process of, I mean, like, how did he feel prior to prior to the offers, and then how did he feel afterwards? Do you see a different, like, I mean, I know it's only been a couple of days, but anything
Hmm.
different about just kind of just him, just overall? Like, is he talking, like, is he more dialed in on things? Like, what do you think?
It's funny because, like, so and shout out to Coach Menzies and his staff at UMKC, because they were the first ones to offer on Saturday Saturday night, after
Uh-huh.
Saturday afternoon. They watched them. We played SOH Elite from Miami, and they had a 6'9". I think he's like top 50 recruit in the country. And
Wow.
so Amari's guarding him. He's getting after him. He's making him uncomfortable. Like, Amari's competing. Like, he's just getting after it. And so and the team overall played well. So after the game, I didn't even know this, but like, they reached out to our club director, um, and they let him know. Well, Sunday Sunday morning, I believe. Yeah, I think it was Sunday morning. He shows up to the gym, to the facility for a game, and he's cheat. No, this is Saturday afternoon. He walks back in and he's cheese balling. He's just smiling and stuff. What you smiling about? Like, why you look like that? And
Yeah.
he's like, I'm getting offered by such and such, or so at UMKC. And I was like, oh, cool, and
That's
then and then the same thing with NAU. The NAU thing was different. It was a little bit different, right? It's crazy because he was happy about the UMKC. He was happy. Um, he had another game to play, so he still had to focus. And he was just like, I'm
Mhm,
gonna keep competing. But
mhm,
even in that moment when he was smiling, I think, like you say, I think it was just such a big weight because he's been
mhm,
working so
mhm.
hard, and like, he was starting to question, like, is anybody gonna notice me?
Right,
Like, you know what I
right,
mean? And it's just
right,
like, just stay true to the process, stay true to the
right.
process.
Facts,
And
facts.
and then so I think it was, like you say, a big weight lifted off his shoulders. Like, he could just be like, okay, I'm it does mean something. Like, all the work I
Mhm,
put in, it does mean something, and it is getting me to where I want to go.
mhm, mhm.
So then after the loss on Sunday afternoon, he was pissed. He was so pissed, bro. He was so pissed they lost that game, and all the boys were, but he was not in a good mood, and so it was weird because Coach Burkhardt comes over to me and he tells me, and so I walk over to Amari, and I didn't tell him. I was just like, hey, make sure you say hello to Coach
Yeah,
Burkhardt on your
right,
way
right,
out,
right, right, right.
and meanwhile, fix your face, bro, because
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, right. Yeah, just like I
you know what
get
I
it, but
mean.
like let's
Yeah,
yeah, it's gonna be another game.
these coaches
Like
might want to talk to you, so
right, right, right.
but so he was able to compose himself, and then coach just pulled him aside and had a conversation, and so yeah, man, it's cool. I think he's since then I think he's still trying to stay humble about it. He's still like, I still
Right.
got to get to work. I tried to tell him yesterday. I didn't. We had open gym last night with the high school team, and I actually sent him a text. I was like, "Yo, maybe you should take the night off." And he sent me, like, he texted me back within like 30 seconds. He's like, "Nah, man." He's like, "I'm not gonna let my teammates think just because I got a couple offers that
See,
I could just."
right,
And
right,
I was
right.
like,
Okay. Yeah,
"Okay,
no, and you
okay,
can't argue with that. You can't, yeah,
yeah,
just no, it just I
yeah,
mean, that's more on just kind of him just taking a just owning that leadership role right there too. Like,
yeah,
you know what I
yeah,
mean?
exactly,
I don't want to
exactly,
act like I'm bigger than the team now that I've, you
yeah,
know what I mean? Like that, slowly
exactly,
some things are starting to happen for me. It's still about the
yep,
team. And a lot of you
right,
guys have been, been on my journey as well there too. You know what I
yep,
mean? Like I can just still remember like when we came to watch you guys play in Vegas, this was what, 2 summers ago. So not last summer,
uh-huh,
but before that there too, right?
right,
And just
right,
kind of seeing him then versus like when we saw him in, like during like your, like during like the season this like last past year. I mean,
right,
he grew leaps and bounds from then.
yeah, yeah.
Just way more confident with the shooting. I mean, the defense was always there, but just like he had always been so composed when he played the game there too. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? Like
Yep.
just and
Yep.
just and but it was just it was just so cool to just see the maturation of that there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now
Yeah.
him saying things like that, like, hey, no, I can't let the guys down. I can't do this. And then plus
Right.
you guys got to get, I mean, Section 7's right around the corner for y'all. You
Right.
guys got high school stuff that's getting ready to start like what, next week or whatever. So,
Yep. Yep.
and so I mean, it's like a shift of focus, but not so much for him in terms of what he's trying to do on the basketball side, but it's like, okay, now I got to go back to leading my guys and we've got to do
True.
this. Like, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? So it's
Absolutely.
just,
Absolutely. Yeah.
that's really
And
cool that,
it's a with the club team, he's playing a different role than he has with his high school team, and
mm-hmm,
so some of the
mm-hmm,
things that he is, he's used to doing, you know, I'd say, it's not as much opportunity for that. I mean, and
yep,
it's just a feeling out process. You got 12 studs who are all trying to play together, and all of them are sacrificing. You know what I mean? So,
exactly. Right.
everybody's playing their role in order, and so we're 23-1, and so at times it could be frustrating because he knows, like, he
Mm-hmm,
feels like he can do more, but
mm-hmm,
he's trying to
mm-hmm.
do what the team needs him to do. You
Needs
know
him
what I
to do
mean?
right there. Yeah, and this is
So
going to be kind of slowly, kind of like at least an idea of kind of like what it's going to be like when he gets to college there too. Because
right.
I'm sure the same way there too. Because I remember
Right.
how I was like. I remember like when I got to NAU, I think that it's like, in those first couple of days, like after you do your first couple of open gyms and then you start doing individual workouts and like, they're teaching you stuff that either you should be able to do or you should already know
Hmm.
or haven't, then they're like trying to just teach you the foundational part of it there,
Right.
right?
Right.
And
Right.
and like you're sitting there and like you're watching this stuff all go down, and then like you're looking around, like you realize like, oh shit, like everybody that's on the team right now was the guy that was on their team.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And so now it's
Yep.
like shit, because I was the guy on my team, but
Right.
Feuerbach was the guy on his team, and Ferg was the guy on his team, and Kelly Golub was
Yeah.
on his team, and Kodiak Yazi, like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so,
Yeah.
like, and so now it's like, okay, so how do you figure
Mesh.
that all? Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
How do you figure that all out?
Somebody got to give something up.
Yeah, right. When everybody thinks
Yeah.
that they're that guy, and but there's only one ball.
Right.
So it's like, what are you going to do to, just to show the coach that like, that you can play or that you can do something. And so like, that's cool that they're, if nothing else, that they're experiencing it right now,
Right.
because
Right.
it's going to give them a little bit more of an idea about like what it's going to be like
Yep.
when they get to college as well there too, because this is
Yep.
just the first step for him. The first step
Yep.
is to be able to go to one of those events, live events, play well, get an offer. Like that's just the first step. Now the
Right.
second are going to be like the consistency in which you're going to do that throughout the summer. And now what are you going to look like when high school season comes? Now when you get to college next year, you know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like being able to
Yep.
pick it up there. So that's so cool, man. I am so happy for you guys.
One other point I'd like to make, just because I know we get a lot of parents on that listen, and a lot of young players that listen. Like, I always tell Amari to trust his path, walk your own path. But when you're out on the court, play the right way, right? And so here's something that's cool for all you parents out there that got young kids. That I will say this: scoring is not the end all be all. Like, these coaches really don't care. Like, they know that you are the dude on your high school team. So
Right.
they probably know your stats. They know you can score. But when you're playing on the circuit level, or in these sessions where there's coaches that are watching, they don't the scoring is great. Like, if you go out and drop a 30 ball, obviously that's going to bring
Obviously, you're going to
attention.
turn ahead. Right.
Right.
Exactly. Right.
But what I will say is that, like, Amari got 2 offers this weekend. I've talked to several other coaches that may get involved as well. Um,
Right.
and in having those conversations, like, I had 2 coaches, one from a Mountain West school and one from a American Athletic Conference school, that I was talking to. They said straight up, bro, as long as they're playing the right way, we know this.
Right.
Like
Right.
if
Right.
my son, in one game, I think he had like where after the game that he got his first offer from. Let's just put that in perspective. He
Okay.
scored he scored 5 points. Okay, 5. He had I think he had 6 or 7 rebounds, maybe 6, right? He smoked 2 layups, right? He smoked them. He smoked them,
Right.
and not fast break ones, but just stuff
Yeah.
around the basket he should have
Just
made,
going to.
right?
Yeah. Right. 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 Just
Yeah,
not finishing. Yeah.
but the things that I was told by those 2 coaches that they noticed more than anything else was the fact that he was up in people guarding defensively, like, and he was guarding different positions. So he went from guarding a point guard to guarding a
Mm-hmm.
freaking
Mm-hmm.
6'9" kid, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then after one of his missed layups, that was like kind of a key point of the game. Very next possession, he went down. He took a charge,
Right.
and
Next play mode. Next play
next
mode
play
right there.
mode.
So huge.
And
So
and
huge.
and so the coaches were like, "Yo, a kid that can do that in the moment, with the eyes on him like this, and doesn't put his head down, doesn't sulk, but just gets back to the other end, does his job, and then makes a play that's going to determine the game, then
Right.
those are the type of kids that we
That's
want."
what it. Right. 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 I mean, it's just
So
it's kind of like piggybacking on what we were talking about yesterday. Was just like in those moments right there. It's like, what is your body language response to handling adversity? And even in that
yep,
moment there too, the adversity just in that little second was you not making the layup that probably if you had that 9 more times that you're making that layup.
right,
But the one
right,
time you miss it there, but it's just like, what's your response, right? Are
yep,
you gonna put the head down, make it all about you? Or are you just gonna jog back and then what allow
right,
your team to have to deal with the 5-on-4 situation because you can't get your head out of your ass?
yep,
Or are you going to
or
get back and then go try to do something for the team? Like, you know what I mean? Add
exactly,
value or like whatever. Because again, like you missed the layup, you only compound the mistake by not getting your ass back and then trying to help.
exactly,
You
yep.
just make it worse. Like, you know what I
You
mean? Like
just
it's
make it work. Yeah,
just make it so then now it's like whatever coaches were looking at you like prior to that, those are those moments right there where it's like, you know what, he missed the layup and they're probably just still watching like that, whatever, because people miss layups.
right.
But then when they see you jog back and then not give up something and then put your all of a sudden now you just like
Just the
they
line on the
push
paper.
by your
Yep.
name, they line through it,
Yep.
then it's like, yeah, we thought, we thought we were onto something with this one. Maybe we
Hmm.
go and it's just so crazy because really think about how long that little stanza was. How long was that really?
Yeah,
That's probably,
it was like 35 seconds.
that's what I'm saying. Right. Yeah. I mean,
35
like,
seconds.
right. So in less than a minute, a college coach was able to look at that and be like, that's the kid that we want.
Yep.
That's how,
That's
you know what I
how
mean?
it works.
That's that whole, like being present in the game the whole entire time.
Yep.
Because there's always going to be somebody watching.
Yep.
And it's like, what is your response going to be?
And here's another coach texted me and he said, so like the game on Sunday, the game went into overtime. Amari's he's not in the game. He's on the bench. And at one point I was like, fix your face, like, bro, chill. Like he was, because he wanted to be in there, right?
You want to be in the game, right. You don't understand that.
But there was a timeout called, and one of our guards had a couple turnovers, right? And so, no, this is late in the game. This is before overtime. Late in the game, he had a couple turnovers, and out of the timeout, Amari goes over to his teammate and it's like, hey, like tries to pump him up, and he says something to him, and kid goes out. Next possession, hits the game tying 3-pointer,
and he gets something right.
And another coach was like, I saw that, like, and I had been, and the crazy thing is, like, you say that to a high school player, and I know some of you parents, you may be saying the same things to your kids, but like I said this to Amari several times before we left. I said, what your body language and what you're communicating to your teammates and what you're projecting to your teammates, these coaches will be watching this weekend,
right?
Just as much as you getting a bucket or playing defense. And sure enough, like, you know, so it was cool for him to be in that environment. It was cool for me to see him compete in that environment. It was honestly, it was even better watching him go through those moments of adversity.
Right.
And then it play out like I said it would, because I told him, like, somebody's gonna be watching, and people know this. You know what I mean?
Again, like you said, it wasn't one of those games where he went out there and he was 9 for 10 from the 3-point line and he had a couple of dunks and just killed it. Like he had a solid stat line, but he had those moments where the coaches saw like, oh, this kid's giving his all. Because it's like, it's one of those ones where like they probably watching the game for a little bit and they saw him do something good. It's probably something like he drove and then he kicked it ahead, or like, you know what I'm saying? He threw it ahead. And so they're like, okay, he's making the basketball play. And then he gets a rebound, right? And then he passes it or whatever. They go and they start talking to somebody else. They're really not watching the game, watch the game. They come back. They see Amari miss the layup, and then they see him sprint his ass back and then go take a shot. Like, you know what I mean? Like, again, you never know when they're watching. So you have to, you know, and again, it's that body language part that is just so important. And like, I'm so glad that like you're saying that now, because I mean, Amari is a junior that's going to be a senior, and then again, ours was on a way smaller scale. I had a basketball team that was playing like this weekend. We played in a JV tournament. I've got all 8th graders pretty much, and a couple 9th graders, and like Aylin played with us there, like 6th grade. And we're going and playing against all these bigger, longer bodies that, from a mental standpoint, when you're 12 and 13 years old and you're looking at a 16, 17-year-old kid that's dunking in warm-ups and doing that, mentally that does something to you.
Oh, yeah.
When you look at it, like when you look down on the other side when the team is shooting layups and their bigs are probably 100 pounds heavier than you are, that does something to your mentality. Like, you know what I mean? You start kind of shying away from stuff. You start, like what we do is that we really hope that our shots from the outside just fall, so we don't have to work harder to go inside to go in to make it, because you don't want to get hit.
Don't want to go in there.
Go close towards the basket. You know what I mean? I mean, it's just like, that's it. And like we had those moments like this weekend where, where we're playing against those bigger teams and they've got to, like kept telling guys like, this is going to get you guys ready for high school basketball, because, the 8th graders are going to be 9th graders that are going to start playing basketball next week. Just like a lot of you guys that are over at, whatever, like feeding middle school is going into Castile, they're starting like this next week or whatever. So it's like all these things right now that you're doing, they all matter. You don't think that, you think like if you're just thinking that this is just another basketball tournament and it's just a weekend to play and you're not trying to get anything out of it for yourself from a developmental and a growth standpoint, then I think that you're missing the boat completely.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? But just kind of just like with like the adversity part there, because we played against a team in a pool that beat us up by about 20, and then we played them again in like the championship game and they beat us by 20. But it was like they were just bigger. Like it was just one of those ones, like when you're really looking at it, it's just like, guys, I don't care about the wins and losses, but it's about the competing, but it's how are you competing? Like, you know what I mean? You're like when they start making their runs, or when they start talking their shit during the game, or when they start doing that, like again, just like you said, how are you responding to it? What's your body language going to be? And I'm so glad that, like you said, that, because that's just going to be something I get to share with the kids. Matter of fact, tonight, because I'll see a lot of them just like over at like workouts, but we're always talking about just like the response part of it there. You know what I mean? Like what is that? What does that want to look like? I mean, if you were a coach and you were watching you play, would you recruit yourself? Like, you know what I mean? Like, no, I'm just saying, like, would you recruit yourself? Like, if you shoot the ball and then you miss it, and the first thing that happens is that your shoulders drop, your head goes down, or you do this, or you try to rip your jersey off, or you try to pull it. I'm just saying, like, because you see all those kind of responses there, right? Like all that. Or you look at the coach to be like, well, what happened? Or you be like, man's bullshit, because they ain't calling no foul. Like, whatever that is, people are watching. Always. And it's like and so it's like for Amari, he's on trying to impress the high school coaches. The college coaches. I'm more like trying to get these guys to understand, like, listen, that body language is going to be the difference between you playing freshman or JV that first year, or playing JV and then swinging the varsity. Like, if you've got those plans, like, because again, these coaches know you, and the head coach knows you because he's been around long enough. Yeah. So like, you show up with these attitudes and these things or whatever, then guess what? Then like, guess what? You're gonna be on the freshman team
until you figure that shit out.
like playing against all these other freshmen, they can't figure it out. Or do you want a chance to, get tested early, so that way that you can keep continuing to kind of build yourself? And then again, just like you said, every path is all different there, right? So like, I'm not knocking the path, but it's just like, if you want to do yourself a favor, have that body language that says, you know what? Yeah, I missed that shot, but I don't even care, because guess what? I'm about to get this stop.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely, man. Absolutely.
Like or if you closed out on somebody or jumped on a shot fake on a guy that's a non-shooter and he drives by you and gets a layup, are you going to get the ball and head man at first? Are you going to go get us an offensive rebound and get back that possession, or are you going to put your teammates because they didn't help out because you being undisciplined? You know what I'm saying?
Undisciplined. Yeah. No, man, it matters, man. So, it was cool, man. It was a good weekend. Proud of my son, and like you say, hopefully it's just the beginning. And
how was Jen? How'd she feel about that?
Oh, man, she
moms are always different there. Like, how was Jen? Like, how was?
She was happy. She was she was mom. She's super proud of her.
Right.
But now, and then she's just like, it's like kind of real. Like these opportunities are, which we always thought they would be, but now that it is here.
Now that it's here, right.
And hopefully it's more. There's a school there's another school that might be getting involved this afternoon. And it's an East Coast school, and I was telling Jen, and she was like,
she don't like that. She don't like that. Like, nah. Listen. Over here is fine. Out, that's just way too far. I can't see it. Yeah, just right.
So it's that aspect of us, like now, like our boy's gonna be gone in a year, like
Right, exactly right. It's like this is part of that problem there too. I mean, it's not a problem. It's not a problem. Well, it's a problem, but it's a good problem. Yeah, is that if you go out there and then it's like you play well and do things, like you're gonna gain interest. And the interest can come from anywhere. You don't get a chance to pick where the interest comes from. Like, it just gets there. Even though she wanted to just, all right, listen, anything west of this line is fine. Like, y'all can recruit, but it's just, listen, like, y'all over on that side. Like, I'm just saying,
y'all stay on that side.
That's far. Like, it's just like, that's far.
It was funny. It's funny, man.
That's cool.
Yeah. Oh man, we got to cut it short today, but I got one more topic, because we got to talk about this before we head out. We got 9 minutes. All right, I got to be out of here in 9 minutes.
All right, 9. Okay, I got you.
These conference finals matches. It's funny. We worked backwards today, but it's okay. But here we are.
I don't think we ever do anything on the show, ever right. So
we don't. Yeah, no big deal. That's why we knuckleheads. I guess.
That's why we sure are knuckleheads. That's what it's right there too. Yep. That's it.
But yeah, man, bruh, some great game sevens, especially in the East. And it's
I
funny
feel bad for
because
Brunson. I feel bad for Brunson.
I do too. They just, you know who I blame it on, and I know we've been kind of talking offline. On you know who I'm gonna blame it. So we've been listening to the Joe Budden podcast, one of our favorite podcasts, and this fool is popping off, bro. And the minute they lost, I was like,
what's he got to say now, Joe? What you got to say now,
JVP,
Joe?
bro? You done messed up because he was talking mad smack, bro. He was talking mad smack, and like you say, I feel bad for Jalen Brunson because like
he was so just. He had been one of the focal points of just the whole entire playoffs, not just, but it's just like he'd been the talk of this. I mean, every morning, first take or anything. I mean, like you're listening, it's just like like you can't not talk about Jalen Brunson. It's kind of like what he was doing and how he was playing and how he was able to sustain and keep that up for so long. Like it was just, I mean, 40 points. I mean, it was just like it was nothing. And then it was like as soon as he went down, you knew it was like, well,
that's it.
You felt bad, but it was just like, damn. Like, I mean, but it's like with the Knicks, I mean, shit, he wasn't the first one. I mean, there's
they just so
I mean, like,
banged
especially
up.
if the Knicks had their whole team, like this might be a whole different conversation. We might be saying, hey, they might have enough to beat the Celtics.
Right.
If everybody's healthy and if they're doing that, but that's not what it is. So, like get better. But hats off to Indiana. I mean, like, you take advantage. There's that moment there. You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
it's like that's what they did. So now with that, is that enough to? I mean, because
Boston,
not a good defensive team though. Like that's the thing.
Yeah.
And I just feel like that, that team, that Boston, especially that core, and then even with Drew Holiday, because he was with the Bucks when they won a championship, like they're super battle tested, like deeper into the playoffs there. So they've been to the final. I mean, the Eastern Conference Finals. They've been to the NBA Finals. You're like, what I mean? Granted, they had to play against Golden State, and Golden State was just they were on one that year.
Yeah.
But I mean, just the Celtics are. I mean, I think they're going to be a tough match. But I really also feel like too. They haven't really been tested at all in any of these series.
No. And the thing about those two teams is that like they just like to score. Like that's going to be. I feel like it's going to be a high scoring series, and it's going to ultimately come down to who wants to really dig down and get after it in the fourth quarter and play defense.
Right. Who's going to get it? Yeah.
I like you say, you think advantage Boston, but. You don't know. You never know, man.
No, I mean, that's the one thing. I think the one thing that the series has told us is that you don't know because let me tell you what I didn't see was on the West. I mean, I was kind of thinking, okay, it's going to be Denver and probably the Mavs, just because it's like when you looked at that, you're gonna like. I was just thinking like, I think the Mavs might have just a little bit more experience than them or whatever. But real quick though, too. But it's just like. The foul at the end, or like Shea like fouled it, like it's like that's so tough, and it's so tough, but it's so like it's one of those kind of like I don't know, just it's like karma. It's not karma, just ironic, but it's like one thing that Shea was so good at this whole year was drawing that same foul,
that same foul
that he got called for. Like, and it was man, I'm just like it was. It's just like it's just hard, it's tough at the end of the game when there's a foul like that, and then that's how the game can be decided. You know what I mean? Because it's just like because there's nothing you can do. You have to sit there and be like, shit. You just gotta hope that he ain't gonna hit the shots.
Right.
You just gotta hope. But then if he hits it, you're just like shit.
He's like, and then damn, got me on my own shit.
got me on my own shit. It's just like the game was good. I mean, like the game, at least from what I mean. I didn't get a chance to see it. I saw like highlights of it on like YouTube afterwards, but like from what people were saying that I was reading on Twitter and ESPN and stuff, that was probably one of the best second halves of basketball this whole entire year. Like if you watch the game, like both teams, I mean, but it's like that's what you want in those games, though. It's
exactly right.
Dallas is like shit. We trying to get there, so you got two teams that are trying to be like, nah, bro. Like he's like, we're not down like that, and then it goes back and forth like that. So I mean. But hats off to Mavs though too. I mean, like I've been a Luka fan for a little bit just because just the way he plays and how skilled he is. Like he don't play defense for shit, but like
he don't.
But he can. But like I don't. But can't nobody guard him for shit either. So it's like it's you know what I mean. It's like balance it out. Like if on, it's a problem.
Yeah.
If
Yeah.
he's
Which
on, it's a
most of the
problem.
time he is. He is most of the time.
He is, and
Yeah. Yeah.
and then it's like when that's not happening, then you got Kyrie, who's arguably the best ball handler like in the league, and the way he finishes around the basket, or just
Just a
not even that, but
straight
his
shot
ability to
maker.
just create right. His
Yeah.
ability to create shots is
Yes.
something that just it's really a work of art when you watch him play. Like
It
it's
is. Yeah.
his feet and how he's always looking for something. It's like the moment that you think you don't have it, boom, he's raising up. Or he
Yep.
just got past, or he just quickly like changed direction. You're just like, damn, man,
I know.
that's nuts.
Yeah.
But like the collapse of Denver, though.
Ooh, boy. Ooh, boy. This is something we're gonna have to. We only got a couple minutes. And I know the playoff games are gonna start. So Boston and Indiana tonight. The Minnesota and Dallas starts tomorrow. But like, we gonna have to come back to this.
We have to, because
this was crazy.
Top 20 though.
Yeah.
20 with about.
Wasn't it 15 starting the fourth?
Mm-hmm.
And just, bruh.
Just went ice. I mean, it wasn't, ice cold maybe, but just Minnesota just wasn't, they weren't going down.
No. And Anthony Edwards didn't even have like the greatest of games, but
no, he didn't.
He played with that energy and created energy and that defense.
And the defense was what helped him.
Oh man. It was something, bro. I was like, what is going on? Like, and it's so funny. Like, and this is why like Anthony Edwards is slowly becoming my favorite player, because like his team feeds off of him. Right?
Yes.
And he just has gotten to that point where it's just like, yo, I'm gonna make something happen for my team, and because of the way I'm playing, my team is gonna follow suit.
Right.
And then I love after the fact when the game is like, when it's decided, he's giving it to people. He gonna let you know,
because because he kept the receipts. He's like, listen, I heard everything y'all said. Because after game 5, he said, don't worry, we're gonna be back for 7.
Yep.
He told us we're gonna be back for 7, and then they went and like we talked about earlier, that wasn't even a wombo combo that they did back in Minnesota.
No.
You can't beat the defending champion by 45 points, bro.
No. That was
a straight up whooping, and then came back and then won that one. You're just like, now, like the cool thing is that if they're able to keep that team coming next year, and then you see what happens with Denver or whatever, is this the beginning of a new
rivalry?
Whatever. You know what I mean? Like, this is a little bit younger or whatever. I think that if anything, if you're looking at Denver, they're probably there, but it wasn't that though. Too, they're like here was the thing there too, is that I think there was like 3 or 4 possessions at the end of that game when they still had a chance to get in it there too. KCP missed 2 box outs, and Michael Porter missed 2 box outs right there too. And it was like, again, those little things that we're always talking about that sometimes you're thinking like don't matter. Like, you can't let Naz Reid come and fly in. Or Cat with the offensive rebound dunk. Again, those are momentum plays for Minnesota, and they're deflating plays for Nuggets. Like, they do that 20 thing, because there's nothing worse than playing 25 seconds of straight defense where you locking a team down, you're just there, and then the shot goes up, like, oh hell yeah, that's the shot that we want. All for somebody to come flying out on the side because you didn't box on in the dunk.
Right. I know. Yeah. It was wild.
That mess was crazy.
Man. Yeah. All right, man. Well, we have our final series. We're going to be tuned in.
And then Friday, we do an actual spot. Friday, because I'm going to be in Arizona. We do an
actual spot. People. Yes. We are going to be in the same place. We're going to do it live. And
we're doing it there. Yep. Let's go.
Who knows what's going to happen. So y'all gonna see us in the same place on Friday, and we're gonna have some fun with it. Till then, enjoy the game. Game one of each series tomorrow and Wednesday, and then we'll see you on Friday. We'll tune back in and do some recaps of that. All right.
Yes, sir.
All right, brother.
Good. Hit the like and subscribe. Damn it.
Hit the damn button. I'm gonna have to do my tutorial again. Hit
that has to go down as like one of like the best moments in like knucklehead history. Like it just has to. Like I'm just like I don't know if there's anything that tops that right now. Like that was, and then you hit the shit. I don't even.
Shut up, man. We out, y'all. Peace. Peace.